Art of War, through the eyes of a snake. Disclaimer: in no way am I promoting violence or advocating that you commit a crime or have others commit crime for you. Do not break the law. War is dangerous in any form, so please be careful. Chapter 1. Play the game. Play the game? Never let the game play you. Your first reaction to betrayal is to immediately get back whoever did you wrong. But a boss never lets emotion cloud their judgment. When information is presented to you, don't react. No matter how hard the information hits, you don't react. Reacting gives them that power. Reacting shows them that they got you. Don't ever give anyone that power. Not even your family members, because family members will treat you like a stranger. Now this takes practice. It's not easy keeping a poker face on when your stomach is twisting and turning. It could be a range of emotions: anger, disappointment, sadness, betrayal, or even all of them at once. Either way, you don't react. Receive the information and sit on it. Everything that happens doesn't deserve a reaction. Take your time in analyzing the situation. Let your emotions run wild and get all of them out of your system. When you have time to think, you come up with the best solutions. My uncle has a saying: a hothead is a jailhead. A hothead is more than likely to be a jailbird, someone who is always in jail, someone who usually acts before they think. Take some time to think about your next move. Don't let your enemy see you coming. Use your brain. Think. Thinking leads to questions you ask yourself. How can I change what happened? Is it worth losing this person? How much ownership do I have in the matter? Does the person or persons have anything that may be useful to me, or do I see the potential in them having something useful later? There's a saying out there that says some people are irreplaceable, which is bullshit. Everybody in your life is replaceable. Everybody. No matter who it is, and no matter what role he or she may play in your life, everybody is replaceable. It's just a matter of time. We lose people all the time in our lives. Friends, significant others, etc., etc. Time and time again, where you lose one, you gain another. Don't let your fear of losing someone stop you from holding people accountable in your life. Nor let that stop you from getting even. I'm a firm believer in getting even. The fear of losing a friend, the fear of losing a business partner, the fear of losing a boyfriend, a girlfriend, the fear of being alone is not an excuse to let people walk all over you. Remember that. With all that being said, it's not as black and white as you think, or as black and white as I may portray. There's a third option. That's my favorite option, which is a mental game that I like to play with whoever does me wrong. This is the mental get back, the mental war. When you hear people say they sliding, this is sliding. When you hear people say we gotta get it back in blood, this is getting it back in blood. On your way to your mental get back, you can turn your enemy into an asset. You can keep your enemy around while the replacement comes around. There are many ways to skin a cat. The only way I'm not like a snake doesn't like to play with their prey. I like to toy with mine. Chapter 2. Money, sex, and communication. I've been to different parts of the world, and the only two positive ways I know how to communicate is through money and sex. Everyone loves money, and everyone loves sex. Except for women who have boyfriends with small penises. They're having a rough time. There's only one other way I know how to communicate, which is not positive. This form of communication can turn the only two positive forms of communication I know into negatives. This form of communication is revenge. Revenge can take the form of being friendly, when in all reality, it's meant to do harm later on down the road. I'm not proud, but I can show you how to get revenge. True revenge. The best revenge is the revenge the other person doesn't even see coming. Shit, it could take 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, or it could even take 20 years. This is where the snake comes in. You have to be disciplined like a snake, observe from the shadows, and strike when the opportunity presents itself. I believe I am very qualified to teach anyone how to get revenge. Take it from me. The person that put up a billboard of his face on a street in his hometown. I placed it on the street in the city I'm from deliberately because 3 people I'm going after, they use this street every day. So for 4 months, all they would see is my face with the words that say, friendships don't last forever. They may only see it physically once a day, but in their mind, they see it almost every hour, on the hour of every day. Sure enough, after 3 days of it being up, all 3 of them texted me to test the temperature. Their guilty conscience was eating them up. Bullseye. Now I know I got them right where I want them. There were even people that I had no intentions of studying that checked the temperature with me to make sure everything was good. That made me pause for a second. How many battles out there do I really have? Who's the enemy that I don't see? I have an enemy who used to be one of my closest friends. To make a long story short, this nigga took my bitch. I was dating a bitch. We went on dates. She met my family. And all of a sudden, he came along like Prince fucking Charming and took my bitch. The ultimate disrespect from both of them. It was crazy because under our pictures, he would comment, calling us goals, telling me how happy he was for me, when in all reality, he wanted my spot. I played it cool. I played it off and told him, you even did me a favor. Man, he showed me that she only wanted me for money. Because back in the day, I used to spoil my women rotten. I say she was only here for money. That might be something I'm just telling myself. Yes, she may have found her Prince Charming, but he for damn sure isn't doing what I did for her with his broke ass. Maybe a year ago, I was running around telling my friends how to make $150,000 a year. I showed all of them proof of me having it, just so they know it's real. I also explained it to this particular enemy. We were at a basketball game, knowing he wouldn't remember everything. Now he's blowing my phone up every other day trying to learn it. I bet he went home to his queen, told her about it vaguely, and now his queen is up his ass about it. Something told me he would go home and tell her about it. I know he told her about it because later on, after the game, she liked one of my pictures on Instagram. When I saw that, that made me smile. Am I ever going to give him the game? Absolutely not. Will I answer his phone calls from time to time? Yup. I'll even set up meetings that I never plan to attend. Fuck you and fuck her. Y'all way out of poverty will never be through me. I recently saw his page get hacked, and now someone is posting from his account saying they could flip $500 into $5,000 in Bitcoin. I cried with laughter when I saw it. They say the same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. Either way, I don't care. I'm laughing either way. What comes to me will come to me. Who knows if I'm being harsh? All I know is this damn sure feels good. I once had a friend named Dusan. Dusan and I grew up together. We went to school together, we played football together, and we even fought people together. I would sleep over his house, and he would sleep over mine. At least that's what we told our parents when we were out hustling. Hustling all night, then going to a Motel 6 to bag up, then go right back to school. Sometimes we made a lot of money. Other times we made just enough to break even for the night. Though sometimes we had to make deals. It's safe to say that I thought this was my brother. I had moved with my mother away from where Dusan lives for maybe about 2 years. Dusan and I wouldn't be as close as we once were, but we would keep up with each other at least twice a week. Dusan and I had a thing where we would tell each other every part about our business, who was involved, and how long every step took. If there was no business to discuss, we would bullshit on the phone for 10 minutes, or just make sure the other one was all right. One day, Dusan calls me and tells me he in trouble, that someone killed his connect 2 months ago, and that he's been fucked up. Me thinking this is my brother, I drove 2 hours to give him some money for what he needed. I bought him a new phone because his old one was fucked up. I fed the bastard and bought him a few clothes. I'm thinking Dusan is my day one, my right hand. He'd do the same for me if it was the other way around. Besides, when people seen Dusan, some people still thought of me because of how close we were. I couldn't let my brother walk around like that, privately nor publicly. I showed Dusan where my connect lived, and I even introduced them to one another. 3 months after the introduction, Dusan and a few of his new homies robbed my connect. Dusan never gave me a heads up. He never even told me he was thinking about doing it. When I found out my connect got robbed, I called Dusan. Dusan was acting weird, so I told him I wanted to meet. I said I wanted him to meet a lady friend of mine that I was considering taking seriously, and I wanted his opinion on her. He agreed to meet. Of course I was lying, but I needed to see Dusan in person. We went to a diner on High Street in my city, the busiest street. Of course I brought a woman with me, but I had told her right after we ordered the food to use the restroom for an extended period of time. She didn't ask any questions, and she did exactly what we discussed. Right after we ordered food, she went to the restroom. I asked Dusan what he thought about her. Dusan said she wasn't my type. He was right. I then said, "Hey bro, the connect went dry last week. He said he got robbed." Dusan replies, "Somebody always gets the connect sooner or later." I left it at that. There was nothing more that needed to be said. I changed the subject. It's not what Dusan said, but it's what he didn't say. Dusan never asked about a new connect or seemed like he just lost his connect. That was all I needed. Dusan robbed my connect knowing I would be without product barely surviving, risking me losing all my customers and didn't even offer me product. The same guy that called me when he was fucked up that I came to help out, the same guy that I let take my car while I was at work to sell drugs for me and him to split profit, the same guy now just left me for dead. Dusan is my enemy. Killing Dusan isn't enough. He needs to be hurt forever. I have to get in his psyche. This calls for a mental war. The ultimate mental war. The mental game of revenge. This mental game of revenge is sweeter and safer than sliding, as the young folks say. When you do slide and kill somebody, now you are a murder suspect, and so is almost everyone around you. Now, if you were a hustler and the cops didn't know you were hustling, I bet they do now, making it harder for you to make money. I learned from someone that was in my past. I would always see him get a lot of money, get into beef, stop making money, then take his stupid ass to jail. Beef kills business. Cops kill business. When people say they're sliding, that means to me that after you've done lighting up the ops or whatever you call yourself doing, you are ducking and dodging, watching your back 10 times more than normal, changing when you park when you get home, changing who you link up with, being more secretive. You don't even casually date the same. The shorties that would normally come over, now you're watching with a side eye. That's not it. You put people that you know on ice, and not even that, you start changing. You start buying stuff thinking you're flexing that you normally wouldn't buy. On top of that, you have to let your family and everyone around you know what's going on, where not to go, who not to link up with, and everything else. A mental war is harder, but it's much more gratifying. Anything that involves competition could stage a mental war. Man loves his family, money, and sex. Any woman or any man. Getting back at somebody starts mentally. You get under their skin. In personal vendettas, we leave family alone. The best ways to do it are through money and sex. For instance, if my rival is a car salesman, I'm going to send a salesman or saleswoman over there that I know to apply for their job and take all their customers. A couple weeks later, I'd casually walk in, I'll introduce the two competitors as if they never met, and I'll let my rival know I recommended them for the job. It's the same way with sex. Your rival will have someone they're interested in or someone they're currently with. Attack them. If you don't think they'll cheat with you or a mutual friend, just make sure you're around. Making their partner laugh will make them cringe. Although they may not fight about it in front of you, they'll fight when you're not there. Don't try to force jokes. Do it naturally. Bring them into conversations that already have a vibe and good energy about it. This makes it easier to get a sense of how that person feels, what makes them laugh, and builds a fun aroma around you. Trust and believe. They're fighting about the way you two. Chapter 3, Revenge. Now think about it. Would you take advice on how to make money from someone that is broke and never had money? Or would you rather take advice from a millionaire or billionaire? It's that simple. There's a guy I used to be good friends with. I threw a party, and he was in charge of collecting the money at the door. It was one of the craziest parties ever. The party was exactly what it was supposed to be. The flyer said free drinks and free weed, so you can imagine how things went. There was a point we had to turn down 25 beautiful women away at the door because we already hit capacity. That was after about 30 other rejections at the door. The party was the first of its kind, so you can imagine. At one point, we almost collapsed the building. Literally. But from that party, I noticed I didn't receive any money. I never said a word to the guy about it. 2 years ago, I was fucking the mother of his children, who he recently got back together with. Also, around the same time he was selling weed, I told one of my younger cousins to follow him and take his customers. It's safe to say, I never forgot what he did. And for a period of time, he paid for it. I'll tell him in a couple years about it. Maybe when he has another kid, or hopefully when they get married. Revenge is the form of communication I use the most. Revenge is the form of communication I use every day, no matter what. Most of my conversations have an end goal for me. Revenge. I use revenge in many ways. Revenge is more than just, I got you once. Revenge is, I got you, but I'm going to make sure this is going to hurt you forever. Everyone is so caught up in killing and getting everything back in blood, but once you kill someone, it's over. Their family members feel it, but they are innocent in the matter. This is between y'all two, so it needs to stay between y'all two. Killing someone over anything isn't the right way to go. I don't condone violence, nor do I ever wish physical harm on anyone. I'd rather play a mind game. It's much more satisfying. Anything in life worthwhile takes hard work. As anything else, getting revenge takes time, commitment, discipline, and most importantly, money. Assess if the disrespect or hurt you felt is worth it. A lot of times it is not, but other times it is. If somebody isn't on the same economic status, nor loved the way you are by the community, then leave it be. Never play this mind game with anyone that doesn't have as much to lose as you do. Being closely matched makes it fun. Being a bully to someone you know you could dominate is not as fun. Getting into a fight with someone that is your size feels much better when you win. But by no means exhaust your resources. No matter if it's a physical war or mental war. No matter how big or no matter how small, you need the resources. If you don't have it, let it go. Never win a battle if it'll cost you the war. If you don't have the money to go to war, then work on getting your money together first. Once you're stable, then press play. Always take care of home first. An example of when you will need money is if you see the person that did you dirty, deemed the enemy, out somewhere, you have to shit on them in every way possible. That means offering to pay for everything, or just ordering the most expensive stuff. With spending and paying for everything, it brings more attention from who? The women. Now you have the rival thinking, this nigga is rich. Where did he get all his money from? Why can't I do that? How come he has so much money and I don't? How come he can command the attention and I can't? Whether the rival says it or not, this is how they are thinking. Maybe not in that exact manner, but believe me, they are thinking, oh shit. Bringing your rival around more than often gets them to trust you. They will do all the work for you. They will tell you things that they have done or that they're thinking about doing. They make it easy. They do your job for you after that. Get every piece of information you can. Once you feel like you have enough information, you put a plan together. Leave room for their resources. Everybody has something to offer that you can use to get ahead. Once you maxed out, what you get from them, you make a small plan of action. And now you need to seize the opportunity. Chapter 4. Opportunity and mindset. Knowing when to take advantage at the most opportune time can make or break your whole plan. Not just in war, but also in life. That's where the snake comes into play. A snake studies their prey and their movements. And they wait until they get the best opportunity. Not the first opportunity, but the best opportunity. It would be beneficial if we took the same approach. Don't take the first opportunity to strike, because you'll most likely do it prematurely. There's so many things that could be pulled from somebody that you may cut somebody loose that could prove to be an asset later. This is where patience and discipline comes in. Patience and discipline can take you a long way in life. But more importantly, these two can help you get revenge. There's always another opportunity to get. Figuring out the best one, well, that's the hard part. You have to ask yourself, how far am I willing to go? Have I grown attached to this person? Have I gotten the most I can out of this person? Shit, is it even still worth it? Or would there be a better opportunity than this? All of these questions you have to ask yourself before making a move. A snake eyes its prey. A snake doesn't attack right away. A snake more than likely hides himself in plain view to watch his prey. A snake studies tendencies. They plan. So when they're ready to attack, they can attack with fearlessness. A snake attacks with absolute certainty. There's no doubt in their mind they're going to succeed. A wayward mind could never accomplish anything worthwhile. If you think about what can go wrong instead of what will go right, then 9 times out of 10, something will go wrong. The mindset you have during this process will have a profound effect on the outcome of what you're trying to do. For instance, take the late, great Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is world-renowned for being one of the most driven athletes ever. It's no mistake that his greatness is often linked to a snake, Black Mamba. Kobe has Mamba mentality. Kobe chose this alias for his professional life because a Black Mamba is a snake that's driven, deadly, and fearless. It described Kobe's mindset and personality perfectly. Kobe was obsessed with being great, putting hard work in and day out. And also he was fearless. Without his Mamba mentality, Kobe wouldn't have been the Kobe we all know and love. It was Kobe's mindset that propelled him above all else, above everybody else he played against. I used to think when people talked about mindset that it was bullshit. As I get older, I realized that mindset is the most important thing. I was looking for a condo in Miami to live in for the next couple years. I saw a few I liked. I called around. I set up some viewings. I went to look at the condos. Most of them were nice, but I saw one I definitely wanted. I put in the application. A few weeks went by without any contact, so I called the office. A lady from the office picked up the phone, opened up my application, and she told me I'd never get in there with my credit score. I asked her, what does it matter if I have the money? The lady from the office hung up. I really wanted this condo, so what did I do? I worked on my credit. And now I'm in a position to get the condo that I wanted. It took me 9 months, but I was locked in. My mindset was, I'm going to get this condo no matter what. Throughout the process, my mindset never wavered. It took only 9 months, but I was prepared to grind this out for 9 years if I had to. My mindset is what propelled me to be in a position to get the condo. If I had a weak mind, I would have given up and settled for less and never fixed my credit. Because I was determined to get it, I did everything in my power to get it done. That's why mindset is so important. You could do things people tell you that you can't do. You would do things that seem out of the realm of possibilities. The right mindset can change your life. Use your mindset to your advantage. The mind is a powerful thing. Your mindset is the difference between winning and losing. Don't forget that. Chapter 5, ownership. No matter how the story ends, whether you decide to get revenge, not to do anything, forgive them, or whatever you do, there is no growth without ownership. You have to own any part you played in the situation, indirectly or directly. Don't be in denial. You can't blame anyone for the position you put yourself in. Also, don't put people in a position where they have the chance to disappoint you, because most likely they will. Ownership is the key. Play the game, but play the game at your own pace. Everybody has their own race to run.